Good day, great scholars. It's Mr. Alan, your science teacher once again, and today I'll be taking you on the topic adaptation and survival. When we talk about adaptation, it's simply a very important aspect of science or biology that talks about the interactions of living things and their physical environment. So I'll quickly walk you through what is adaptation. Adaptation is simply the characteristics or behavior that enable species live successfully in their environment, or in other words in their habitat, be it terrestrial, aquatic or arboreal habitat. So I'll quickly walk you through this picture talking about adaptation. Is a very important aspect of science that you need to pay keen interest and attention to. So here I have some few animals represented here. Here I have a giraffe, stick insect, or what we call the praying mantis. Here I have a leopard, and I have a glowfish. Now here, the behaviors and physical characteristics of species that allow them to live successfully in the environment is simply what we refer to as adaptation. And it's adaptation that leads to survival, because Charles Darwin established that it is only the fittest that can survive in the environment. When we relate with our physical environment, environmental factors, weather factors, and other conditions such as diseases which can take out an organism, be it plant or animal, if it is not well adapted. So example, fish have gills and they can breathe under water. So fish has a special feature that enables it to breathe under water, and they possess what we call the gills. The gill is a special breathing apparatus that fishes use to breathe under water by taking dissolved oxygen dissolved on the surface of the water. The giraffe here, as you can see, has a very long neck, and with that long neck is able to browse the leaves on trees that other animals cannot reach, and in that way it always gets its food supply to stay alive in its habitat. Then the glowfish here, like I said earlier, has gills, and it possesses fins that enables it to swim, gills for breathing, streamlined body for fast movement in water, so that it can be able to dwell safely in the habitat it finds itself. The leopard here is an animal that belongs to the cat family, and the leopard is such a very swift animal, and it is noted that it is the swiftest among all mammals when it comes to running and running after its prey for food. So it possesses very fast ability to move, it possesses a very sharp claw, possesses a very long teeth called canine for easy tearing and pouncing on its prey. So these are just few examples of what we mean by adaptation. So I'll quickly move to adaptations in plants right away. Plant adaptations. Now, plants have special ability that adapts them to their environment. For instance, we have what we call the innate behavior. That is a behavior that is not taught an organism. It just comes naturally for the organism to survive in its environment. For instance, a lion, after taking care of his cubs, at a certain point in time, it allows the cubs to go hunting themselves. Now, these cubs will try hunting until they become perfect so that they can stay alive and bring food to the pack. So that is an innate behavior. It just comes naturally, though they watch their mother lioness carry out these operations or hunting time to time. Then we have what we call the behavior that has to do with learned behavior. Some organisms have to learn a behavior from their parents. For instance, I'll use the example of ducks. A duck will learn how to swim by watching its mother or mother duck swim on the surface of water. Because in swimming, they're able to go for their prey. They're also able to run away from predators when they need to from land. That's a very good adaptive measure. Now, these plants here, I'll just pick a few of them. This is called the Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap has the ability to capture insects that perches on it with its opening like a cup. It just closes this way as soon as the insect perches on it and feeds on the insect for food. So in that way, it stays alive. I'll also pick a few other examples of plant adaptation. Now we have the seaweeds. This is called the seaweeds. Now the seaweed has special ability to float on water. They have a very light body, and they have a vascular body that can easily conduct nutrients from one part of the body to the other. So in that case, they are able to float on water, while some are submerged, depending on the species of plant. So its major means of adaptation here is the ability to float on water. It has a very thick, waxy body or leaves, and it has a hollow body that allows nutrients to move from one place to another in no time. and it has the ability to absorb energy from the sun to carry out photosynthesis to stay alive. So in that case, it has been adapted to its environment. Now let me go to animal adaptation. Now for animal adaptation, we have to look at this picture. Look at the duck I talked about earlier. Now this duck swims after their mother duck, and they have to watch her do that over time so that they can also do the same if they must become independent and stay alive in their environment, either in search of food or run away from predators. You can't talk about animal adaptation without talking about camouflage. And a very good example of an organism that does this is the chameleon. The chameleon has the ability to metamorphose into different colors in its environment. Now, camouflage is simply ability to suit yourself into the environment by either changing your color or your looks, and in order for you to run away from either predators or any unfavorable condition. The woodpecker is a very special species of bird, as you can see in this picture. This is called the woodpecker. It has a very long and sharp beak, or bill as it is also called. It has the ability to bore holes into the bark of trees. It pecks into the tree until it bores a very round hole and a space inside the tree where it can conveniently fit in. So that was why it was called the woodpecker, because it pecks on woods and creates a hole for its nest in the bark of trees. So this is a special mode of survival or adaptation for this particular bird, because it can make its nest deep down the body of trees by pecking holes on them, and in that case it's able to safeguard itself, its baby birds, and also run away from predators. It can also run away from harsh weather conditions, rainfall, wind, and so on when it is inside the bark of the tree. So that is a very special means of adaptation for the woodpecker. So these are just few examples of what I have on adaptation. Simply put, how plants and animals are able to come up with means, different ways of survival, different means to adjust into their environment, be it hot weather, cold weather, harsh weather conditions, seasonal changes of any sort, other disasters, diseases, and so on. How do we adjust? What do we put in place in order to stay alive? That is all about the topic adaptation and survival. And like I said earlier, Charles Darwin put it that it is only the survival of the fittest. So if you are not fit, you cannot survive in your environment or live comfortably. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.